Okay, welcome to Grace, aka Werevlog Screenplay, written by Spivey. From the Wolfman, Maleve says, "The way you walked was thorny, though no fault of your own. But as the rain enters the soil, the rivers enters the sea, so tears run to the predestined inn. Now you will have peace for eternity." George Wagner. Now, you obviously know at this state right now, we're dealing with a Dell 2017. We're maybe retiring this for a little bit. It means we will be unplugging it and shutting it down. I want to go ahead and send this through. We'll go ahead and start to talk about cast. So fade in on wide shot, bright full moon in the dark sky. We got a narrator voice that can really be anyone from 1941, Howard Monster, the Wolfman. That can be really anyone, probably me. There's interior kitchen. All this stuff is a cat. You're the Cat, plays by Al Stewart. It'd be a hard song to get. There's a reverse tracking shot, wide shot there. Death of the Gothic Vlogger, connection to Marfa, Texas. This was based on Michael and Jessica from Grim Life Collective, but would want to use them as actors. So they'd be playing with, it's known as the Vlogger connection, their Gothic Vlogger connection. In Marfa, Texas, it opens. They're basically looking for the ghost of James Dean. They do have a hearse. They do have a hearse. There's the Grim Vloggers line. It does have many lines. I have done this reading before. This is an updated version of the script. So you can pause and look at something. It's acting weird. Hang on for a second. Okay. That's probably the way I'm holding it. Let me try something. It might be better if I hold it. Okay, here we go. Vlog Pirate and Grim Vlogger have a whole thing. They get chased by the werewolf. They get into a hearse. It pulls out. It's in a certain sequence. So when we get the Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne, they see the wolf, or they think it's the wolf. They're looking for the ghost of James Dean. So they're like a mystery vlogging group that looks for ghosts. Werewolf comes about, starts chasing both of them. It gets Vlog Pyro first, that would be Jessica. Pulls her back in the dark, bites her neck. He flips out and he goes to the car. When he starts the ignition on the radios, Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train's playing. He has no control of the radio. It gets kind of weird. I don't say that he didn't have any control, but he panics. He drives the hearse into the field towards Vlog Pyro. Does not bother to turn off the radio. So it's like a demonic thing. Crazy Train plays, blah, blah. He kind of gets to her. Okay. But he doesn't get to her quick enough. But he does get to the back of the vehicle. He stops it, gets a trunk, opens up a coffin in the back of the trunk. There's like a wooden crucifix, holy water, antique flint pistol. They got a kind of monster tools, Grim Vlogger. He finally removes a crossbow. He has like this silver, shoots it, misses, shoots it again, boom. It gets his hand, or it gets his hand and detaches his hand. The whole time, which I need to add this right here. That's what I wanted to do real quick. Okay. Okay. The Red Woven Vintage. Yeah. Dismounts the camera. Okay. The sound of the snow crunching. She turns, okay. It's going to be when he's at the car. So, okay. Side door drives and dives in. Okay. It's important. He straps it's the camera to his hand. I'm not gonna say right or left hand. Let's say to his wrist. He straps the camera to his wrist with the red strap. Okay. All right there. So he straps the camera to his wrist with the red strap, and he'll later lose that hand. So it's kind of prophetic. I'm not gonna say he prophetically straps it, because he can't do that. His camera records from the ground up, thud, he falls over. The monster's wolf shutters. So right here, he loses his whole hand first. He pulls a wire back, taut, places arms and fires, misses, looks down, his arms fall into the ground. The hand twitches and the camera continues recording, capturing all horror. His camera records from the ground up, thud, he falls over. Okay. Wide shot, grim vlogger, he's returned to his feet. He has no hand at this, or he has no arm. Runs toward the roughly and puffing, bleeding out. Say of his arm. Don't worry about right or left. Medium shot, he makes it to the shoulder of the road. Now very pale, dimly. Go ahead and save that. We're gonna have to do a PDF. The PDF thing's a BITCH on this. He might have fixed it. Grim vlogger turns around, the vlogger's head is attached. That can be done by wide shot. I do have wide shot here. So it can be done on wide shot. It'll be like maybe a 10-minute. We're gonna kind of go through this. This is real. Hang on. Why is that shaking like a? Look at that. It's a little bit better. I gotta do two things at once right here. Full moon, all this stuff. We skipped to 10 years. Let's not worry about the whole sign painting thing. Let's not have a big argument. Let's just know there's a sign painted in red letters 10 years ago. We'll figure that out. We might do a couple of different takes. Fright Night. So this is basically another version of Fright Night. So we gotta watch out on this Fright Night. Oh no, it's Fight Night. Oh, I'm sorry, Fight Night. Okay, Fight Night. Ding ding. Okay. Let's go ahead. Well, hang on. Okay. Let's just add this. Let's just do a ding. One ding. Or maybe we'll do two dings. Okay. That way it sounds, so people that... There's a gi in this. It's got like stuff so that it talks about the him being a fighter for the Apache. The first guy he fights is Kenny Killjoy, which is St. Patty the Great. Bradley Cooper, look at that one, and Mark Wahlberg. I might have them fight over it. Grace sees her, Rainy Love, blah, blah. And then it goes through. This is very Russell, if you've seen The Fighter. I kind of wanted it to sound kind of like that. Probably leaning to Wahlberg, maybe. There is also possibly, this could be a Rocky O'Neal kind of thing and Sylvester Stallone kind of thing. Now, Grace is in shape at the beginning, but later on, he does beef up. So we're going to get there. I may have put some weight down, 170 or something. That would be a big chunk of change for me. Right now, I see 70, 80, 90, 220, 210, 220. Be a 50-pound drop. I've done it before. I've done a 100-pound drop one time when I was doing Pigeon 1 stuff with Bulb. When I got into Bulb, I was already at 40 pounds less, and then continued to another 60 pounds, to total 100-pound loss. Samson Niels, that's a religious fighter. It's like a faith-based fighter. Could really be anybody on the faith-based fighter. He does have tattoos, though, but we can always add those. Japanese lady. This is all in Japan right here. We got Dean Stilson. Dean Stilson was originally based on one of my professors, but it could be him. It could be anybody on Dean Stilson. I like Danny DeVito because he does mention a Danny DeVito looking guy, but Danny DeVito's a little bit older. It's a shorter guy. It could be Dinklage maybe, because I wanted to use Dinklage for what I'm working on now, which is the Alaskan pitcher, also known as Rib. Also known as Dog Night Out, also known as, what is it called? Shepherds of Alaska. But this is Grace, a.k.a. Werevlog. Okay, Vestibule, the Tavern. Here's for Gary Oldman. So it's Gerald Oldman III. I tried to put that in as much as I could. Gerald's name would be mentioned. He's a crazy English guy, lost his whole family. He used to be a minister. He starts off in a bartender with hopefully Anthony Hopkins, Tony, who's just in kind of the background, and the other guy, Suri McKellen. The character is Tony and Ian, yeah. And then there's the bartender. I think his name is Fred or something like that. Gerald Oldman III, bartender. He's called Bartender right there. So Gerald Oldman III gets up and he kind of shows off. He shows up in an outfit. So he shows up in a costume like a long time ago, like a hunter or something. He's a werewolf hunter. And he starts walking. I based a little bit of this on Fright Night with that guy, Dow, no, Malcolm and Dow. Dottie. No, Dottie. It sounds like Dottie. It's not Dottie. It's Roddy. Yeah, Roddy was in Fright Night. Just because Roddy was playing a television hero. Gerald Ullman III is like a YouTube hero. He's a YouTuber that went kind of nuts. But a lot of them are YouTubers. That's from White Abbey. He's going across looking at where Dracula. This is Bela Lugosi. Gerald Ullman III. This is Gerald Ullman III jerks back in fright and directs his smartphone camera at the Howling Wolfish Robot Records. Yeah, so Grim Life went to this thing, and I kind of based this moment on this thing that was out where what's his name? The Dracula guy. Guy that wore Dracula. Stoker. I think Bram Stoker. Francis Ford Coppola would know. Bram Stoker, whatever. They're at this it's like a haunted house, a Dracula Experience Museum. It really exists. There's an address on here too. If you find it, it'll be an address. Address should be correct. Yeah, let's see. Bela Lugosi's dead, plays by Bauhaus, White Abbey. Let's see if we can get to the address. A long time ago, it's hard for screenwriters to find addresses and stuff like that if they want to film in locations. Yeah, I guess it was on here. Just a mere wolf is what we're introduced to Gerald Ullman III. It's likely just a wolf. I carry this silver chain for good luck. It was given to me by my grandmother for protection. And then he tightly grips the chain over Gerald's shoulder, blah, blah, just a mere wolf. Just a mere wolf. And we have also Gerald Ullman, at least in digital format, vlog over. Now he's making a vlog right here about werewolves. And oh man, see Gerald, the Fang, Silver Fang. He's also known as Silver Fang. Yes, Bela Lugosi, White Abbey. That's close enough. I guess we didn't need an address. The Whalebone. I may have put the address later. Dracula Experience. Yeah, it's right here. It's at God, this mouse is like horrible. But it's Museum at 9 Marine Parade, Whitby. It's United Kingdom. It's a real place, or it was, I don't know. I'm going to America, to Oregon. I'm meeting with a blacksmith there. Now, this is going to be John Blacksmith. Post Malone would be good for John Blacksmith. I know he did a fighting film, too, so we could use him as a consultant. He did one with Jake Gyllenhaal, which also could be a part of this, too. This is Kitty, Are You Okay? Now, this is just him kind of, you get the idea Grace is probably a little OCD or something. Some of those fighters might be. But he's just basically talking to his cat. He's just asking if his cat's okay. Kitty, are you okay? He's just talking to the cat, though. And the cat brushes against his calf. Kitty, are you okay? Are you okay, Kitty? Kitty, are you okay? It's just kind of like a moment in like Scorsese's Aviator. You're like, what is wrong with this guy? Close on Grace, Walnuts Feed Store is another one. Bill Jack Dog Food, Mr. Shaw Walnut. That's definitely Wallace Shawn and Jim Carrey. And they're working at the feed store and doing all this weird stuff. He walks backwards. I think I do say there's something about him walking backwards. Some of this is improv. It probably says it in here. Some of it's in my head and some of it. But anyway, he does eat dog food in this. So he's like kind of weird. So he goes into his 1979 Ford F-150 red pickup truck. I think there's actually such a thing. May or may not be. I'm not for sure. But it's definitely a 1979 Ford pickup. His stomach is growling. Rubbermaid. Yeah, and then I think somewhere in there he walks backwards. Barry exits the feed store walking backwards. Yeah. So it's like, what in the world? Because you get that kind of weird stuff in werewolf movies. There's feed time. He eats the dog food, Rubbermaid, Tim Berry. And then Grace, St. Patty. Okay, there's more of that. Okay, we're just getting through it. This is completed. Grace and Rainey. I worked on it for 5 years. Okay, so St. Patty the Great. Let me see, we're at 14 minutes. On a hill, Long Country Road hill. There are a lot of weird, like, scenes when they're on a hill or in a field. And then there's a scene where you can see Rainey Love, who is actually, you find out she's a werewolf. And she walks in these fields under this moonlight or this stuff. And there's like these dreams and stuff. This is probably St. Patty coming to visit because they're actually friends. Okay, so we get done with that. St. Patty dies. He actually leaves on his he's got I believe a Harley. It's a type of motorcycle. He might have a motorbike. It could be a motorbike because I may be quoting Lost Boys. And the wolf gets him and it gets his neck and he goes flying off. And it's a horrible death. So he goes flipping down the road and all this stuff. And then there's an owl that hoots right here. There's a wind that blows through the pines and no one is around. It's probably Cooper for that. Not even the shadow of the wolf is around at that point. So he's left to kind of die. But I think he takes his last breath until he goes limp. It could be the motorcycle, it could be the wolf. We never really see the wolf, or we never see the werewolf. Not really ever. There's only one scene in the end of the barn. Female flight attendant. I was thinking of Millie Bobby Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please fasten your seatbelts. So she runs across Gerald as on the flight. This is kind of a funny moment. Gerald's brushing his teeth. He's like spitting blood in the sink of the the little small airplane that has a thunder crashes outside. So he's real nervous at this point. He's like shaking. Okay, so right here, we're gonna have him shaking. We'll just do this right here. Okay, tries every word from a ghostly voice. Okay, so he's listening to a tape player of something. We'll have to figure this out later. The strange voice says, there have been a number of different theories of why certain fighters are blessed with a more robust set of whiskers than others. Some have argued that when we talk about the strength of fighters' chin, we're really talking about neck strength. So this is something he's just listening to. He's doing research. Comes out of the bathroom. He's on a Boeing. Passengers, please buckle your seatbelts. Okay, so they're having turbulence. Sir, are you okay? If I die, tell me mother. I love her. And that's Gerald to the flight attendant. So then there's like this turbulence, very funny. Please buckle up, sir. Yes, ma'am, Scotch whiskey. Just one drop. He's obviously an alcoholic. When things settle down, then they're settled. Scotch, damn it. And then he sniffs and he starts crying right here. So Gerald buckles his seatbelt and a tear falls from his remaining eye. Okay, so he does wear an eye patch. It's not really in the script. The reason he wears the eye patch is because this gypsy told him that you can only see the shapeshifter if you cover your eye for a certain amount of time. So the eye has to be covered. It's not that he has perfect vision, but the eye has to be covered so he can see it. He doesn't ever explain it though. It's something that we would know just by this vlog. It could be explained though, maybe. What the heck? Where did she go, Kitty? And then all this stuff. I'm going to print this and send it to Grim Life so they can see the first part of it. So you went on a walk in the middle of the night. So she goes on these walks in the middle of the night. We don't know what's going on. And she's cooking scrambled eggs. And there's also a scene where she cleans the house with super fast speed. I did call for some, I believe, New Order music. Ted. Okay, we have Lyft drivers. We have Uber drivers. Here's Gerald. Something wrong with your lamp? It's called an amp. Is it? Been drinking? None of your darn business. Okay. Must be something wrong with the word darn. We'll just do this right here. None of your business. Can you get me to the area that shot Stand By Me? I believe it's Astoria. Stand By Me, the movie? Yes, the flipping movie. Ah, that was filmed a long time ago. I don't know exactly location. I got a friend out there that I want to visit. So maybe like a cover or something, and he's talking about lycanthropes. He spells lycanthrope right here. Oh, yes, E. He's like he's spelling and stuff like that. He's got a good monologue in here, though. It says, when in Rome. Okay, so there is a hidden aspect of Rome in it, too. There's one time in the end where Gerald Oldman is being taken to the ambulance. The fighter, Grace, says the word sire. He calls him sire. So I was going to have a parallel story coming out of Rome, but that may be in the sequel, or it may start off in the sequel. It starts off in Rome during Rome time, and they're talking about the werewolf, because the werewolf was written, the werewolf's the oldest story. So there was a wolf story written by the guy that wrote, I believe, Medea. I always say Satyricon, but that's Fellini. The guy that wrote Medea, I don't think it was Euripides. It was a guy who rewrote Medea. It starts with an S. But anyway, Medea was written by Euripides, and then it was rewritten during the time of Rome. Here's some stuff about a painting, about a Roman painting and skinwalkers. This is probably, no. This is about, I don't know how to say it, but Javad and Mauritian Mountains. This was, there's the word terrorize. Let's take a look at that. This is basically Javaz and Tiberi. It's a real attack that happened, I believe, somewhere in France. The beast reported killed several times before the attacks finally stopped. Where did you get this? Wikipedia, and he's talking about Wikipedia. These are vloggers. Keeps on going, Gerald, blah, blah, blah. It could be a series, Randy, and then all this stuff. And then the voice on the TV set. Okay, he has a nightmare. So, ow, my foot. Jenny Yoga, the bear poster, or something about, you're looking at Jesus, Jane. Okay, so you look at it for Jane. They have like 5 million guests there. Oh yeah, this was on the television. Then he goes to sleep. He has a dream about Marsha. He has a dream about the Brady Bunch. Like the Brady Bunch, one of them is like a werewolf or something. This might be only a tad bit over 12 years. Scotch, oh yeah, this is Mock, the Uber driver, and Gerald talking. He's getting picked up probably at the airport right here. Me too, turn it up louder. 19, blah, blah. 1977. Aha, I peaked number 19. This is John Blacksmith. Okay. So John Blacksmith will make fun of Gerald Ullman. I said it a couple times. So he makes fun of his accent because they end up going on an Uber ride from pretty much Oregon, which I think is John Blacksmith, yeah. John Blacksmith to Texas, to a place called Barksville. And they take an Uber there because, I guess, because of the flight. Traumatized Gerald, probably. Or they're just undercover and they just don't want to take any more flights or something. Because he's basically carrying it's because he's carrying a liquid silver nitrate flamethrower. The very canister right here is a weapon for killing werewolves. It contains liquid silver. It heats up and mixes. Okay, so let's go ahead and have him say it. Right here, flame thrower. So there's a flamethrower in it. This is a liquid silver. This is a liquid silver nitrate flamethrower. Sometimes he talks like John Blacksmith, and sometimes he talks like Gerald, just to be funny. He's just basically, it's kind of Evil Dead Part 2, where he's talking about the shotgun, but he's talking about the fire extinguisher. It looks like a fire extinguisher, but it's basically for killing werewolves. It's a flamethrower that looks kind of like a fire extinguisher. Amazon smart plug, feed kitty. Okay, keep the door shut next time. Okay, we're at 22 minutes. Take that stupid thing off your face. Well, you don't like it? If you're going to wear an eye patch, don't use a sock, dear boy. Have some class. I wonder why he does this. John unties the sock. Oh, they're drunk. So John Blacksmith puts on a sock over his eye to make fun of Gerald. Sorry, I'm trying to hold this as steady as I can. Yes, ma'am, he's under my authority now. And, oh, no, this is Grace. Yes, ma'am, he's under my authority now. And don't use the word in this house, day worker. Oh, okay. There's a day worker. This is what I wanted Benicio or my friend Rob to play. There's a day worker that works on their yard. A landscaper. He's also a vlogger. He talks about his fighting years. His Grace was a UFC fighter that used a Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Nelly, the vet office clerk. You need to fill out the paperwork first. Make sure you provide... Okay, he has to take the cat into the vet because the cat... It gets bit by a snake. He takes it in. Favor driver gets killed. Okay. So favor driver, t-shirt, tuxedo, image printed on the front. This is all just kind of, the werewolf kills the favor driver. This is cool. So the van, he gets ripped out of the side of the van eventually. He drops off a package, comes back. He gets ripped off, but he has his phone with him. So his phone goes flying out of his hand. He's probably a vlogger too, whatever. It's flying all around. And he gets ripped out, so the van keeps going, and it goes into a pond, and we see the phone, the smartphone, but we also see the point of view of the smartphone. Looking down, right? Smartphone camera, point of view. Okay, so this is probably... We'll do capital right here. There we go. Now, at this point, he's obviously drowned. Okay. We can just, put that way. So it's, I'll just make that one smaller right there. He's already dead, basically, or drowning. I could put drowning. Somewhere in here, let's just, where is this right here? Just the word bubbles. There we go. And then murky. Just put murky. We can just do 2 bubbles right there. I don't know if that's murky is correct. Yeah, murky bubbles. There we go. Full moon, lows. Okay, yeah, lows. So John, the reason why is because of how it's saved. Okay, there it goes. Over here, okay. So lows, John Blacksmith goes to low. Well, they follow Grace to Lowe's. They start spying on Grace, and they're following with the Uber drivers and stuff. So they see him. Grace gets upset with a worker at Lowe's, and they're like, "Yes, he's got to be the werewolf," So it gets kind of comical. It gets kind of Fright Night, very Fright Night. You've seen Fright Night? I don't know the year. I just know Roddy is in it. I just know the name Roddy. Sorry. There's also the guy that's also a 1980 guy that goes, "Whoa," and opens his mouth really wide. He's like he ends up getting, now if I ever say diegetic, it just means real sound, the sound from the car speakers. This is when they're following Mark and Gerald and John Blacksmith. They're following Grace, and then we have some music, which is basically known as New Order. And I did the exact timing on it with seconds. I even timed it out when I wrote it. It's at 57 seconds. All this is 150 at Bird's View to the actual music called The Perfect Kiss. Okay, let me Grace Lippin. I didn't just go like, because I may not be able to direct it. Grace horse throat latch strap is lined with the playful tiny lights. LED lamp is fixed on Grace's horseback ready. This word I'm just going to let them figure out. It's a horse word for horses. Okay. Watching the Wolfman. We're at 27 minutes. We gotta hurry. Okay, let's hurry through this. We got Grace Dojo. We open. We're not Joni Mitchell. Okay, so Rainey and Grace are talking about when Rainey was a rock star, or she was like a lower end rock star. She was like an unknown. Well, she was not a real famous rock star, and they went to one of the Woodstocks, one of the later Woodstocks, and they played on the side stage. They didn't really, but the band is called Silver. They're like Kiss, only they're female. It's a female Kiss band. The band is called Silver. It's right there. We can actually highlight that and go like that. So it would be a female Kiss band. Now you do see Kurt Cobain, a blonde-haired headbanger, resembling a young Kurt Cobain, hopped up on the stage and stage dived. I think stage dived into the audience. This would be at like a Woodstock kind of thing. So it wouldn't really be Kurt Cobain. Just someone that looks like him. Can you hear me, Senor Grace? Okay. Don't call me Senor Louise. Okay. So Louise is about to get killed. He's basically a landscaper. He finds a rock, moves a rock, the tunnel goes underground, it goes into a cave. He's vlogging it the entire time. Probably some of this is in Spanish, so if we use Benicio, we can change some of it to Spanish. Probably a lot of it's in Spanish, and then the wolf gets him. We can even do subtitles of English. We don't have to. We can do it in English, but at least the accent's there. Because he's a real worker. John Blacksmith, the enemy of the devil. So the more I preach the word of God, so there is some stuff about Gerald being religious. The more I talk it, I become from the enemy, the devil. So he knows he's an enemy of the devil. Okay, we've got all this stuff right here. Gerald Ullman III. I just say Gerald Ullman III. Sorry, I'm not gonna be able to change all that. They'll just have to figure it out. I just cut the word like Gerald Ullman III. It's still the same guy. And we're all going all thing. We should always flip out and recall the cops on us. True. Here's the rub in this plan. I'll tell you what. Let's record what we do. You brought your camera, right? And it gets idea to record what it is. You could record the killing of Grace. Okay. show her that he had changed. Okay, so they're gonna go to his house, vlog him, and kill him. It's kind of almost, you know, Sharon's Tate kind of stuff, but not really, because they don't really do that because he doesn't turn into a werewolf. They were only going to kill him if he was actually a werewolf. But they do go there, and there is something that I call for a secret song, and that song is Silver F by SP. That's all I'm going to say right now. And they drag a gate across, or along this road. They get the Uber driver. I guess maybe they get him a little drunk or something. They go flying through a gate to get, here it is right here. So I did what Scorsese did with Goodfellas. I just put that. That was when Scorsese put, he did it by just saying cream. And then close up on John hand, stick a shift into the D. Okay. So it does break the gate, drags the gate, and Silver F is playing. We'd have to time it. I didn't do timing on this one. I did it all in my head. So there's natural bamboo and wood pan flute. Okay, so while this is happening, Grace is playing with a wood pan flute he's playing Green Sleeves on a pan flute to Rainey. And they're like flying through, this is called petunias. They fly through the petunias that are along the side of the road. Hey, Christopher Walken out. You're so cute. Oh, okay, she's telling him that he's acting like Christopher Walken because he does a Christopher Walken impression. Now, Grace, these sons of guns are drunk and have been stalking my wife and me. Okay, so he gets mad. The police officer shows. There's like probably one police officer. And then there's a guy named Robert Billings. Now, I know this is far-fetched if we got this thing lifted off. For Robert Billings, I wanted to use Bob Ballard Band. I really liked him working with Christopher Guest, but I know that he's old, so he's older, so I don't know. Social worker Robert Billings. I'm the social worker, Mr. Grace Lippen. I hope that it's how you pronounce your name. I'm currently assigned to this case. So this is kind of fantasy. The social worker is kind of like showing up to get him to sign some stuff because they're not going to arrest them. So Gerald's over there. He knows, and then John Blacksmith, who's a total thug, is like cussing at him. And they almost get in a fight on the porch. There's a computer screen widely through the spans first. Okay, so now, sir, please, I need you to sign these papers for me. Please, sir, just sign here. Robert Billings holds out a tablet. It's like, that's how he did. And then Grace researches the werewolf on the web. And so he's like, at this point, Grace is like, what is going on? So he starts doing research on the web to figure out if there's really werewolves. So that's what happens there for a little bit. There's also a funny scene where John Blacksmith sneaks into their side house. It's like basically it's like a guest house to hack. Yeah, to hack. And he goes into the refrigerator to get something to eat, and the refrigerator takes a picture of him and sends it to Grace while he's exercising on a treadmill. And then Grace Lippon goes to the side house and confronts John Blacksmith, and he talks his way out of it. John Blacksmith talks his way out and gets back to Gerald. It's very slow horses kind of thing at that moment. John Blacksmith arrives. This guy's wearing. Sorry, I have to shake my leg right here. It'll shake a little bit, so I'm sorry about that. If it's got too shaky, I'm sorry. John takes a small machine for cutting glass. Yeah, this is where he takes the machine for cutting glass. It's very Pink Panther. What's this beef budding? Yeah, beef budding is, anyway, it's a type of lunch meat. And then there's Bud Light cans and stuff. And so he's basically getting the door. Yeah, and then Grace comes in. Who are you? Okay, I was told a worker order had to be filled, blah, blah. So he gets inside, and there's a work order, and he tells him to get out, idiot. And I got you on photo. And so Blacksmith is probably under disguise right here. Probably dressed up like a pirate or something crazy, just to be funny. He's probably dressed up as something convincing so he doesn't look this. I don't know if I said that, but he'd be dressed up so he wouldn't look like John Blacksmith. She's good. Welcome to Old Sherry. Wait for the green light to flash. So Old Sherry is the name of the flamethrower, okay? It's also mentioned as Sherry. So it's a silver canister for extinguishing werewolves. This thing shoots out silver. It could shoot out water, and you could change that and somehow edit and post. According to the map, that trail right there leads to the barn. I'm going to the big. This gets Silent Hill. So this gets into a little Roger Avery Silent Hill kind of stuff, because I know Roger Avery worked with Silent Hill. So I took some of this from the video game Silent Hill, the Joy Division plays, things like that. He goes to the barn, and this is the first time that we see the werewolf. It's a wolf-like creature. We get to see it because he goes, the flamethrower old cherry does spit out silver, but it also lights up. So it's very, very bright. You have to wear goggles or it can blind you. So it lights up these sections of the barn. So he's using the flamethrower to light his way around the barn and ends up setting the barn on fire, I believe. Very nice. But they are able to extinguish it, I think. And then the freaking she-wolf then. I'm sure the beast is in here, blah, blah. Good evening. To be exact, she resides at Grace Lapon's retired UFC. Hopefully it won't come to that. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. I think I can show the footage. Convince him to be our ally, the moon. She will not be fully transformed. The wolf will only be slightly recognizable. She left the back door open. We should just walk in. I may not retire this. I may keep it. To make small edits. This will go up to my cloud. Oh God, my hand. Okay, so blacksmith loses his hand. Okay, so there's a big thing that goes on in the barn. We do see the face of the werewolf. I'm only saying this here. It's no longer the shadow of the werewolf. This is originally going to be called the shadow of the werewolf. We do see the face of the werewolf in the barn. Now, Wolf Claw scratches Gerald's back, so Gerald gets scratched. That's not good. Does Gerald turn into a werewolf later? No, we'll talk about that later. He's actually immune. So is Grace Lipon. They can't be changed. Some people can't. There's a transformation of the wolf here. So there's a, I said that because I wanted to limit the amount of time that you see the wolf. There's a transformation. The she-wolf doubles over and begins to transform back into the original form. It's actually not a werewolf. It's a she-wolf. There's a wide shot. And what a lot of people don't know is that it's actually a she-cat wolf. Now, only the most genius will figure that out because of the markings underneath the ground where, the landscaper gets killed. You do see that it's actually a cat wolf, but it's a female cat wolf. Misty Black Smoke Filter. John Blacksmith. See. Here we go. We'll do it right here. Cattish howl. This could be like something like that. So it's cattish howl right here. I don't know if that's actually a word, so we're going to go like that. Okay. And then we're going to do a dash and do a wolf. Cattish wolf howl. We're going to change howl probably to like that, maybe. Is that correct? Okay, so we know there. Okay. She turns with revealing. It'd be revealing. Revealing. Here we go. Cat whiskers. So now we know. Now I'm taking this right from Thriller. So she turns, revealing cat whiskers. We're going to go ahead this way. Should we do yellow eyes? No. We're going to do normal eyes. Gerald starts off strong and then becomes weaker toward the end of the speech. Okay. Okay. There's look, Grace. Look at her. She is not a human form. Okay. This is where he just blames a lycanthrope. Little do we know, this is actually an alien. Okay. So in the sequel, we'll find out that it's actually, these are aliens. Okay. So it's not a she-wolf. It's not Grace. It's not, Grace isn't one. And this is not a she-wolf. It's not a cat wolf or a were-cat. It's not a were-cat or a werewolf or, any of that. It's actually an alien. But we don't know it in the first one. My name is John Blacksmith. My hand has been bit off. So he gets his hand bit off by Rainy Love. She's nearly transformed into a she-wolf. Send the police. 16, blah, blah, blah. What else do we have to prove, sweetie? What is wrong with you? I don't know what you mean. Okay. Did you do this to them? Did you bite his hand off? This is a moment between Grace and Ray. It's very emotional. That's why I want to use Cooper. And Rainey, she just can't face him. She doesn't know. She has these bad dreams, she says. Everything's a bad dream. There's some kind of rock and roll thing. Grace takes a silver dagger. Okay, so Grace goes in and takes the dagger off the wall that she used for silver and then stabs her. Grace walks down the hall. Rainey hits. She's not killed, though. It looks like she's killed. Her legs are wolf legs and her body is that of a woman. Rainey begins growling and hissing. Oh, we're at 40 minutes. Oh, crap. We're going to have to wrap it up. Okay, guys, we're wrapping it up. It's the very end of it. There's an ambulance that comes. I just wanted to show the part where it says, "Sire." "Sir, what are you trying to say?" "Sir, what are you trying to say?" "Sire." There it is right there. That hints to the sequel. There's something connection between Rome and this, whether it's some kind of time connection, some kind of weird thing. That's where we get into the werewolf, into the aliens. Year of the Cat plays again. We wrap it up. Final shot. Okay, this is the final shot of Gerald, who's still alive. He lives. Okay, Gerald lives. Grace lives, and so does Rainey Love. She lives too. The cat lives too. And we see the cat. The cat bounces. Okay, so the cat saves the day. So when they're fighting away and earlier up here, the cat actually bounces off the she-wolf's face, allowing her to open up. It's a slow-mo shot, and the dagger to go into her I guess her heart, or just, like stabbed in the heart kind of thing. But it's because of the cat. The cat saves the day. So Gerald, the siren sounds on the ambulance. Gerald notices that the cat Garlane is sitting at the windowsill, licking his lips and staring out at the ambulance that carries his injured body away. He hears the cat meow. There is a sparkle in the cat's eyes. Close up, the cat's Garlane's eyes. Close up, Gerald Ullman's eyes. Music cue, Year of the Cat. Lifting crane shot. Ambulance drives down the long driveway with a blaring siren and flashing lights. A police car follows the ambulance that carries injured Gerald Ullman III. Music continues. Fade out. Credits. And that's my information. We're fading out basically probably to Al Stewart, Year of the Cat. All right. And that's a wrap on that. 41 minutes and 57 seconds, going for 42.